paid a whopping Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? It's your girl Nika of Traveling with Nika, and I am back with another video. And today, as you can tell by the title, we are going to be talking about how much Iceland cost me and doing a full cost breakdown of this 7-day, 6-night trip to Iceland. And I did go on this trip with my friends, so it was a girls trip. One of my other friends did 5 days and 4 nights, so she did leave early per se, but the rest of us did stay for the entire 7 days and 6 nights. So let's talk about how much this actually cost me. Okay, so first up, we're gonna talk about flights. If you guys have not seen content about me breaking down how I was able to pay $10 in taxes and fees only for my flight to Iceland, I will definitely leave that linked above. I do have it on other platforms as well, including YouTube Shorts. So I'll link the YouTube Shorts at the top. But if you want to go check it out on TikTok, Facebook, or even Instagram, I do have that video detailed where I'm talking about how I was able to get the deal for all 4 of us using points and us paying that little for our flight. Okay, so that was definitely a travel hack using points, and we flew directly from New York City to Iceland on Delta. So the flight itself was under 5 hours. What I did love is that I was actually able to get a Comfort Plus upgrade with Delta because I do have status with Delta. So that was a really good perk. So now we're gonna talk all about accommodations and how much that cost me. So for my per person cost, it was $816 total. And that was for us to stay in 4 different locations. So that was 2 nights in an Airbnb for the first 2 nights, and then 3 different hotels for the remaining nights for the 7-day trip. Vic Apartments, that was the name of the Airbnb. And then our hotels were Hotel Geyser for 1 night. The other hotel was Exeter Hotel for 1 night, and that was actually in Reykjavik. So then the third hotel was Foss Lindell, and they definitely have different properties all throughout Reykjavik. So I feel like whichever one works for you and your budget, you are free to choose that one. So those are the 4 different places that we stayed, and I paid $816, and these are booking by multiple rooms, so just keep that in mind as well. It was 4 of us. Each of us had our own like beds and things like that when it came to booking these hotels. So we booked like 2 rooms, and then our third hotel, by that time my other friend left, so I got us a room that would facilitate 3 beds in the 1 room. So that's basically how we were able to do and split our accommodation costs. So next up is the rental car cost, and the rental car did come with platinum insurance, and I highly recommend using Lutus Car Rental. Their insurance is top tier. Like, you won't have to worry about anything if something does happen to the vehicle. Once you pay for that insurance, you are pretty much going to be covered. Obviously, I'm sure if you kind of like intentionally do something, then that's different. But like, if you know your windshield gets cracked because of the weather, or you accidentally scrape something while you're driving or something like that, or you had like a tire pop or something, that platinum insurance will definitely have you covered for sure. I would advise just kind of like, making sure that you review everything, ask them questions. I was able to make that booking online, and it was super easy. You didn't even have to pay like upfront. So that's also good for budgeting out your trip. You can still make the reservation, and then you can pay a couple days before you actually get to Iceland. So that's what I did. I think I paid probably like 2 days before we got there to make sure that everything was paid in full when we arrived. Came to gas and packing, I was able to track this very easily using the Splitwise app. And this is a great app when you are going to be traveling with, your friends, family, loved ones, just in a group trip as a whole. Everyone can see like how much they owe you for different transactions, so you can enter them in. So when it came to gas and packing, we obviously split those expenses like equally. So the total was $78 per person. So now I'm going to talk more about like the food expenses, because I think that food and drinks in Iceland can definitely be a little bit more pricey. Like I remember like one place, I think that's probably the second day in Iceland, we went to one of like a cafe. We went to a cafe. Oh, it was called Lava Cafe, and it was right across from our Airbnb. Breakfast alone was like 20 something dollars for like a sandwich and I think maybe a juice. Like it was pricey. So just keep that in mind, that food is definitely an area that could add up, but there's definitely ways to still save on your food and drink expenses. So I would say that we were able to save a lot by doing at least these two things. One is that once we checked out of that Airbnb for those 2 nights, for the remaining nights, we stayed in hotels that included breakfast in the rates. So we were able to eat breakfast basically for free because we had already paid for our hotel. So that worked out perfectly for us. Also, like the first day that we got there, for example, we utilized the gas stations and we were able to purchase like wraps, sandwiches, things for on the go to be able to road trip with, right? So that's how we were able to basically get like breakfast and lunch on that first day, for example. And throughout the time in Iceland, we definitely made other stops to pick up like snacks and different things like that. So I highly recommend using those two tips to be able to try to save money when it came to food and drinks in Iceland. So when it came to activities, I paid a total of $411 for about 14 different activities. However, only about like 5 or 6 of those were actually a cost. The other things that we did were free. Yes, we had to obviously pay for gas and things like that to be able to get to those places, but to like get into them, they were free. And I think probably out of those free activities, we had to pay for parking at maybe at about like 2 or 3 of the stops. So I think I'll probably put them on the screen so you guys could see the ones that we didn't have to like pay an entrance fee for, and that definitely helped us to save a lot more on activities for sure. But when it came to the activities that we did pay for, you guys would have seen the Blue Lagoon vlog, and that was around like 110 US dollars once it was converted, and that was for the premium package at Blue Lagoon. So if you want to see that experience, it's a geothermal spa, outdoor spa, and it was definitely amazing. I will link that vlog above if you have not seen that yet. So that was about $110. And then one of the other things that we did was the Northern Lights tour. But one of the things I would say is that if you do book a Northern Lights tour, I would definitely book it early in your trip, because it's no guarantee that you're going to see the Northern Lights on that tour. Because for us, we weren't able to really see it when we went. It was only not until we went on our own, like the day before we were leaving Iceland, where we were able to see them perfectly, okay? And that was basically free too. So just keep that in mind. But I still think you should try to book a tour, especially if you do have limited time. Try to book a tour as early as you can. So let's say you are staying in Reykjavik, I would definitely book a tour probably for your first or second night, okay? Northern Lights tour was $90. And then we also did a food walk tour, and you guys would have seen that vlog as well, definitely before you're seeing this video. So I will also link that. That was 10 out of 10, y'all. Like, that was probably one of the best food experiences I've had. And it honestly shocked me a little bit, because I really wasn't expecting that Iceland would have been a place where I would be able to taste some really good, eats. And I'm a foodie, so I definitely enjoyed that. And I booked that for us on Get Your Guide, and that cost a total of $110. And then I did exclude the $10 that we paid to get like the additional like shot of Brennivin, which is one of their liquor. That was kind of like extra. I did include that like in my food and drinks cost that I told you guys earlier in the video. The other two things that we paid for was the Glacier Lagoon tour, and that was 48 US dollars. And then the last thing that we paid for was the lava show, and that was $44. And when it came to miscellaneous costs, I added up like about $95. That included like me purchasing different souvenirs. That also included me purchasing like SIM cards and different things like that. That came up to that $95. So all in all, drum roll, y'all, drum roll. If you have not been adding it up on your own, I paid a whopping $1,932 United States dollars for my 7-day, 6-night trip to Iceland, and it was worth every single penny, y'all. And obviously, as I told you guys, one of the biggest savings was, of course, our flight deal and being able to utilize points to not have to pay, you know, that full cost for a flight to Iceland. So that was definitely beneficial for us, being able to use points to get us to Iceland. And one of the other areas that we saved a lot of money with is when it came to the food expenses, just kind of doing some of those tips that I told you guys in the video. We definitely saved there as well. And thirdly, one of the best things about Iceland is all of the things that are in nature are free of charge. And I definitely hope that it stays that way, because they just let things be. They're not really charging you to be able to go to a lot of these different landmarks and must-see spots, which was definitely helpful for the budget. I could see where this would have been like a $3,000 trip if, you know, I had to really factor in like paying for like full flight costs, and probably even if I didn't go like with my friends, it probably would have cost me even more if I was on my own, like paying for a hotel, for example, like on my own versus like splitting it with another person. So yeah, that's all for the full cost breakdown from my trip to Iceland. And I hope that was super helpful for you guys to see, you know, how much it cost me for my trip. And as I said, it was worth every penny. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Bye, guys.